Unlike others who are occupied all day long, this girl cherishes her free time, often going for evening runs to unwind. She dresses up to socialize and meet handsome, easygoing men, with all her expenses covered by her company. However, her job is not for everyone. It requires a skilled driver capable of evading police pursuit. She executes her tasks coldly, even in front of witnesses, and fearlessly infiltrates enemy headquarters alone, facing assassins and criminal gangs with ease. Despite her agility and decisive actions, her resilient body is not innate but the result of years of rigorous training, contrasting sharply with the typical upbringing of girls. Her childhood was marked by intense training sessions with the sole aim of becoming a killer. Despite her ruthless efficiency, she harbors a loving soul and a sense of duty. Those she eliminates are deemed deserving of their fate. In today's movie episode, she is assigned by her organization to assassinate a high-ranking member of the Gakuzawa gang. After surveying the area and incapacitating 2 bodyguards, she hesitates when the target appears alongside his daughter, troubled by the presence of the innocent child. Realizing this was a one-time opportunity, she pushes aside her personal feelings and decisively completes the mission. In the days following the assignment, Kate, the protagonist, is consumed with guilt. She is continually tormented by the heartbreaking sight of a young girl grieving over her father's body, which leads her to decide she has had enough. Determined to leave the organization, Kate knows that her skills as an assassin make her a valuable asset. However, seeing her resolve, her boss reluctantly consents to her departure. That night, feeling downhearted, Kate goes to a bar and meets a charming man. Without much thought, she invites him back to her hotel, resulting in a brief, sweet moment between them. Later, she receives details about her final mission and heads to the location promptly. Suddenly, feeling dizzy, she misses her target. Kate tries to fire additional shots, but the target is quickly whisked away by his subordinates. In a hurry, she flees the scene, steals a nearby vehicle, and speeds off, unaware of her surroundings. With her head pounding in pain, her car eventually crashes, flipping over in the middle of the road. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself in a hospital. The doctors tell her she's been poisoned with an incurable substance, leaving her with only 1 day to live. Hearing this, Kate is utterly devastated. She had just decided to leave her life as an assassin for a hopeful future, only to now face imminent death. Trying to stay calm and relying on her assassin instincts, Kate realizes something was off about the man she recently met. Using information from his documents, she tracks him to his home. Faced with the grim reality of her situation, the man confesses he was hired by the crime lord Kojima but didn't know there was poison involved. Determined to kill Kojima before she dies, Kate heads to a restaurant where the Gakuzawa gang gathers. She bursts into a room and shoots 2 men, forcing the last to reveal Kojima's location. "I'm just a soldier. I haven't seen the boss's face," he says. Suddenly, Kate hears the gang members rushing in, and just then, her gun runs out of bullets. The gang swarms in and attacks her fiercely. This scenario wasn't described in the book, so she relied on her instincts to fight. Once you clear this room, people from the next room will come in. She kept attacking in a steady rhythm, blocking on the left and striking on the right. One person charged at her while another fell to the floor. Everyone still alive was in a wheelchair. Then, she was repeatedly thrown onto the ground by a healthy guy. He made a critical error when he touched her hair. Moments later, bodies were scattered everywhere, and only one man remained standing. He nervously mentioned that Annie might be the tycoon's niece with information about him. Following these clues, Kate headed to the bar to find Annie. Upon seeing the little girl, guilt hit her because this was the daughter of someone she had killed. However, there was no time to hesitate. The female lead swiftly defeated the bodyguards, grabbed Annie's hand, and threatened her to reveal Kojima's location. When the female lead got distracted, Annie took the chance to run. After some difficulty running and sweating, she had to stop and face the intense stare. Annie called the boss's assistant for help. Upon hearing this, Zenji quickly summoned his subordinates to handle the situation without informing the boss. Here, the heroine's body is covered in blood and wounds, and the poison is starting to affect her. Kate looked tiredly at her reflection in the mirror and took Annie into the bathroom to keep her safe from the impending fight. Later, Zenny's henchmen arrived, and the assassin assessed the female lead's appearance, thinking it would be an easy task despite her looking a bit rough. However, her skills were still formidable. Faced with the overwhelming response from the gangsters, The female lead's only option was to find a hiding spot and wait until they finished shooting. She attempted to fight back, but was disarmed by an ambusher and had to face the consequences. Kate quickly fled upstairs, throwing herself over the balcony to escape, with the assassins relentlessly pursuing her. In a dark alley, she hid until they passed, narrowly avoiding being shot. Meanwhile, the assassins found Annie, but before they could harm her, the female lead intervened, shooting one of them and driving them away. Seeing Kate's exhausted state worried Annie, and now both of them were targets of the tycoon's pursuit. Despite their differences, they found common ground, and in gratitude for saving her life, Annie helped Kate infiltrate her subordinate's residence to gather clues about the boss with the assistance of her assistant. Annie accidentally pressed the remote of the music player, distracting the female lead. Seizing the opportunity, Ja dropped his gun. Despite his outward appearance of weakness, he proved to be quite strong. They engaged in a physical altercation, starting with boxing and then transitioning to the use of knives. It appeared that Ja favored wrestling. Annie attempted to pick up the gun but struggled with it, unsure of how to operate it. Ja managed to push the female lead down and nearly stabbed her with scissors. Kate then employed her ultimate move, using the handle of a wine glass as a weapon to stab him multiple times. Ja's pain seemed to intensify his aggression as he tried to strangle the female lead with all his strength from behind. Annie intervened, striking him with a blow that fractured his skull. After checking his phone, Annie discovered Zenny's whereabouts. The female lead borrowed a few guns, and they ambushed Zenny's car on its way home. Annie stepped out to block the path, and without hesitation, the protagonist unleashed a barrage of bullets, turning the car and its security into a wreck. Zenny, partially shielded in the backseat, emerged trembling from the vehicle and revealed the boss's location at a mansion used for family gatherings. The protagonist then called her boss to inform him that she would complete her mission and bid him farewell. Despite Annie's offer of assistance, Kate declined, insisting that this was her battle to handle alone. After advising Annie to take care of herself, Kate, wounded but determined, proceeded inside, where it seemed that the boss had anticipated her arrival, showing no signs of surprise. He calmly tells her the family's story, and at that moment, Kate realizes the true mastermind behind everything is the assistant who was trusted by her own boss. This discovery of betrayal by someone she respected as a mentor leaves her feeling deeply betrayed. The boss used her as a tool, and when she was no longer useful, he disposed of her. Meanwhile, the sinister boss arrives and reveals to Annie the identity of her father's killer. A gunshot is heard, and Kate emerges. Annie, feeling extremely deceived, grows angrier as Kate tries to explain. Annie fires a shot, causing Kate to fall, then leaves with the boss. Luckily, the shot only grazes Kate's face. On the edge of life and death, Kate recalls her journey to becoming an assassin. She realizes she can't die yet, as she doesn't want Annie to share her fate. Gathering her strength, Kate manages to stay conscious. The boss then hands her the last tube of medicine, allowing her to live for another hour. Kate vows to use this time to save Annie. Annie is taken back to headquarters by her boss, where Zenji is also present. Through their conversation, Annie learns that her father's assassination and Kate's poisoning were orchestrated by the assistant, with the help of an assassin organization. The assistant planned to have the Kojima family eliminated, so he could gradually take over the corporation. At this moment, the female lead appeared with a confident demeanor, heading straight into the organization's headquarters. However, she wasn't alone this time. She had a group of bodyguards escorting her swiftly. The guard at the entrance was swiftly subdued. Inside, tension rose as Kate's team took turns neutralizing the guards, sabotaging the electrical system, and disabling cameras. The enemy quickly mobilized troops armed with modern machine guns. Upon sighting each other, both sides engaged in a fierce shootout, resulting in the destruction of the room and the downfall of the leaders, one after another, until only one remained on the enemy's side. Despite spotting him, Kate was so fatigued that she could barely lift her arms. Luckily, the boss arrived just in time to rescue her. Meanwhile, the boss and Zenji began to execute their respective plans. Faced with the family traitor, the boss offered him a final chance to redeem his honor through a fair fight. However, the match proved highly one-sided, with the boss showcasing his superior techniques in under 5 seconds. Meanwhile, inside the room, the boss used Annie as a shield. The female lead continuously apologized to Annie for the trouble she caused, expressing her willingness to make amends. Eventually, the boss revealed his true intentions, and both sides exchanged fatal gunfire simultaneously. Caught off guard, the boss couldn't react and perished on the spot. Annie chose to forgive the female lead, and Kate fulfilled her wish, closing her eyes as she peacefully passed away. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.